Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Think Big podcast. This is episode 75, which means we've been here for 75 weeks, consistently showing up every single Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We appreciate the comments that start off in the chat before we even get going. Shout out to Carlos, shout out to Carson, shout out to all of you that have been sharing the podcast. Means a lot. I want to say shout out to Mark. He's been tagging us on, I literally think, every single podcast episode we've done. Tonight, we're going to be going on a topic that we've visited before. I think this might actually be the third time we visited this topic because it's been such a crowd pleaser. It's one of the ones where I think we get the most amount of feedback from people saying this was helpful, it was insightful, it gave actionable steps as far as what they needed to do in their own business, their own entrepreneurial journey. And for some people who haven't started yet, what they said was it gave insight as to the direction that they should be heading in, the sort of questions that they should be asking of themselves, of their mentors, and of their advisor council. So I'm excited about this one. I know this, the term quarter for a quarter got started, what I think maybe over a year ago now, Sam, if I'm correct. It was one night we were leading a Zoom. We were doing a Zoom call with one of our real estate communities that we're a part of, and we were teaching people how to do sales training, how to close deals, how to get properties under contract. And there was a woman, and I can never remember her name. I really should, because quite frankly, she changed my life in that moment. That what happened, what occurred. Actually, this was Six Figure February, but it spun off from this. It was Six Figure February where
Agnes.
it was it Agnes? Agnes was the one?
It was
Oh,
Agnes.
wow. That's crazy. So Agnes came on and she was having some limiting mindset issues. So I jumped in as Mindset Marlon Wood and I began, coaching her through mindset. However, you could see I'm not getting through to her. And I begin to get frustrated that she's not seeing what I see so clearly. And so we asked her a question. We said, do you think it's possible to earn $100,000 in real estate, doing a deal to earn $100,000 in a single month? And you see the hesitation. I mean, she refuses to give us the answer that we all know is the correct answer, which is hell yes, it's possible. And so I rephrased the question. I say, do you think it's possible for somebody like Pace Morby or somebody like Sam Singh to make $100,000 instantaneously? She goes, yes, so totally possible. And so then I ask, well, what the heck is the difference between you and a Pace and a Sam and a Zachary Keebs? Like, what's the difference between you and those people? And before she even got the opportunity to open her mouth and answer, and I love Agnes, by the way, before she got the opportunity to even answer, I jumped in on her and said, the only difference is these people have a self-belief in it's possible and it's possible for them to do. And with that, I got all amped up. I got all antsy as I do. And I said, you know what, Agnes, to prove this to you, I'm going to go out and do $100,000. I'm going to go make six figures this month. Now, before that point, I had never made more than maybe about $15,000, $20,000 in a single month as like my best month. So we're talking about more than 5xing my highest earned month, all because I started getting in on her that she needs to have this belief system. And I wanted to prove that with belief and with the right steps, anything was possible. And Sam was there. Sam said, yeah, you know what? Who else is down to do this? Sam says, I'm in on this. Who else is down? So we started getting everybody chanting Six Figure February, Six Figure February. And as you can imagine, with all the hundreds of people on the Zoom, really only two of us that particular month that happened to be there actually followed through on this, Sam and myself. Hence why he and I are still friends and we talk regularly. And from there, it spun off into, well, if we did six figures in a single month, and I think, Sam, that was also your first six-figure month that you had accomplished in your own business, not being a part of someone else's team. I know Alejandro had already done a six-figure month before that as well. Actually, same month,
Same time, same month.
time. So Alejandro had done a six-figure month as well. The three amigos here on the screen, and from there, Sam started talking about, well, what if we did a quarter for a quarter? I think we were in Florida. We were in the back of the car, and Alexis Morgan was asking us questions about business. And that's where quarter for a quarter was originated, with having that conversation with her, helping her in her business. And shout out to Alexis. She has been crushing it in business. Also, she just donated $1,000 to the Pair to Park initiative with preventing human trafficking. So shout out to Alexis Morgan, somebody who followed through on some of the advice, the applicable advice that we're about to lay out here for you. But before I give the mic over to Sam, before I give the computer screen and the whiteboard over to Sam, I need to say this about business first and foremost. Recognize that the men on this screen, we all have one thing in common, and it's not the sort of business we do. We have one thing in common, and it's this. Well, we have multiple things in common. This is one of the most important things we have in common. We are pursuing our purpose. We are pursuing the things we are passionate about. Please recognize that when you see Sam nerding out about KPIs and business and scaling, that it's not a job to him. Although it is work that he enjoys. When you see Alejandro being the most disciplined man on planet freaking Earth, understand he enjoys the process. He enjoys that work. It is so absolutely critical that if you're going to be a successful CEO, if you're going to be a successful business owner, that you are building a business that you are passionate about. If you're going to build a business you want to sell, build one you're passionate about, because ultimately being able to sell that thing in the future is you built something so damn good you don't even want to let it go. If you can't build that, you're just another tired business owner. You're just another tired landlord. And you're not going to have the energy to build this thing properly. So get in alignment with purpose as you're listening to the KPIs tonight, as you're listening to the conversation tonight, as you got your notepad ready, iPad, notepad, cell phone, whatever it is you use to take notes, make sure you are focusing it towards the thing that you are building, that you are passionate and purposeful with. Please do that for yourself. Please do it for society, because we do not need more people that are just blindly going through the motion. I don't want to meet any of you if you're just blindly going through the motion. I only want epic friends that do epic things, that don't worry about competition because they're creating. Like Alex Hormozy says, what is it? He says, I'm not one of many. He's not even a one of one. What is he?
He's a one of zero.
Of zero. A one of none. There are none other. None other. Sam is a one of zero. Alejandro is a one of zero. I am a one of zero. I want to meet others who are ones of zeros, who are one of none, that you are the only one like you. Now, with that being the case, what are we going to talk about, boys? Quarter for a quarter. It's quarter two.
I don't know why, but when you guys say quarter for a quarter, it reminds me of McDonald's. The quarter pounder. I don't even eat McDonald's, bro. I haven't eaten McDonald's since I was 17.
That 75 hard's hitting him hard, man. When he's thinking about McDonald's, when he's wearing that shirt, that's what that is.
Homeboy's hungry.
Could be.
But yeah, let's get into it, guys. I want today to be extremely high level value driven, and I want today the thing that we're chasing, right, guys? 2 weeks ago, we did an amazing call about the psychology of building a team. And then last week we did a phenomenal call, I think, about basically creating a $1 million a year blueprint in your business with org charts. And I want to keep the pace with things that are actually implementable. And someone has said this to me. I've heard this several times from last week's thing. And that is, it's the stuff that mentors don't even teach. And that's what we want to do here. And we only have so much time. We only have, 48 more minutes. We have 48 minutes left in this, if I'm mathing correctly. And the reality is we need to compress as much value as possible so you guys can take this and put it into your businesses. So what I want everyone to start doing is this: to stop looking at real estate as doing deals. Stop looking at any business as doing deals, right? So we're going to talk about real estate today and the real estate investment business today. Why? Because it's the majority of us. That's what we're doing. The reality is the framework that we're going to give you guys today can apply to if you are selling life insurance, selling cars, selling prime energy, selling whatever the hell it is. As long as you have a product for sale or a service for sale or something that you can exchange to someone else in exchange of money, and you understand that KPIs and data drive the back end of that, you can actually scale anything you want accordingly. So guys, I mean, I'm not joking. One of my favorite test stories, or like testimonials of Quarter for the Quarter, is not a real estate specialist who went and took this and crushed with it. It was actually someone who owns a roofing business. They own a roofing business. And they actually took the framework from quarter for the quarter, applied it, changed out all the metrics and the terms from real estate contract stuff to things that are applicable in roofing marketing. And they were doing a lot of door to door. They were doing a lot of direct mail. And they were really kind of emphasizing that. And what ends up happening? They ended up crushing it. They didn't make a quarter for the quarter. I believe they made over $500,000 in the quarter. So huge. Quick upfront expectation. I'm going to be sharing screen a lot today. And I want you guys to get used to seeing this stuff. As a business owner, very often in YouTube University, kind of the era that we're in right now, we are so used to just seeing each other talk and just processing, data and information very much face to face. And that's okay. But the reality as a business owner, you guys need to start thinking in legitimate frameworks that are explicitly written. There's a reason why we spent over an hour last week, right, building out an org chart in front of you. But with that being said, let's get into it.
Hey, Marlon, does Sam's voice give you like a common vibe? Like, it's okay. Like you can talk to this guy for like 5 hours.
Dude, you don't use him. You don't use the Sam app to fall asleep at night.
Yeah, we got Sam. Remember the little tub. Homeboy was just chilling in the tub, just with a relaxed voice, freaking turned down all the way to 2.0.
Wait, was that when I was in the? Yeah, we don't talk about that.
that was so random.
Hey, you called me, okay? God dang, I was unclothed and in a body of water. That's all that matters.
What's nice is if you FaceTime Sam while he's showering, he will still answer. Just saying. I
will. I actually FaceTimed Hung Mai, and I have a screenshot of Hung Mai, presumably completely naked, on FaceTime. And so every time it is his birthday every year, I will go to IG stories and post a beautiful photo of Hung Mai wet, naked in the shower and say happy birthday. He got very upset with that. So let me know. Do you guys see the quarter for the? Do you guys see the killer KPI spreadsheet?
I'm not sharing anything, bro.
God dang it!
Here we go.
YouTube don't like the value, guys. YouTube just doesn't like the value. Okay, so let me know now. How about now?
Something happened, and then
yeah.
Click whatever you clicked. Click it again.
What did I?
The Rockabye Sam app, John. I think you're on to something, brother.
I think
this is gonna be even better than only Sam's.
Oh,
okay.
You were there, and then dude, you're teasing us, bro.
Are you double clicking it, bro? Is this a teaser?
I'm trying to get this to work. I don't know why it's not.
Bro.
What the fudge monkey? Okay, I'm gonna figure this out for you guys. Don't worry, I promise.
We got you. We believe in you. So while Sam is figuring that out, though, I do want to know in the chat. Let me know in the chat we got about 33 people live right now. Several people coming in from different channels. Let me know, what business are you in? What's the business that you're building that you want to do a quarter for a quarter? Go ahead and type that in the chat. If you're in real estate, if you're in roofing, if you're in electric, if you're in home services, whatever the case may be, or even if you still have a W-2 job, drop it in the chat. But Sam, congratulations. You got it up, my friend.
Okay, so what's going to happen is I cannot see my screen, and I'm pretty sure that if I close it, move it, fuck with it in any way, we're going to lose it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have the chat open right here on my phone on the side. But you guys can see it, yeah?
Yes, sir. We got you.
Okay, boys, do me a favor. If we get questions, 100%, please stop me. I'm just not gonna be able to see them, so just let me know if we have good questions. So, guys, I'm gonna revamp this. I'm gonna send this out later this week. A lot of people who were on Solopreneurs Curse this past week or Marketing Secrets the week before, you guys saw the spreadsheet in heavy use. This is the killer KPI spreadsheet, and simply put, guys, this is the stuff that you need to track to make $1 million. Simple. No more, no less. And the big issue that I have with KPI trackers and all these calculators and all these damn things on earth is what? They're too damn confusing. They're too damn confusing. And most of us visionaries, we can't implement them successfully because we don't understand them. So what did I do? I went to every freaking community and mentorship and mastermind that I'm in, and I looked at the best of the best of the best KPI breakdowns, and I realized that all of them sucked. All of them. None of them helped my visionary brain understand why the hell I need to track these things, why they matter, and what they diagnosed in the business. So what did I do? I sat for a couple of weeks and I actually made my own. And Killer KPIs is literally a spreadsheet where, guys, you don't need to track anything more. You don't need to track anything less. And the cool thing about all this is actually, you'll see this right here. You're going to track, right, what type of marketing channel it is, where you're getting the funds, all these things. Most important thing is this, and this is what every KPI tracker on earth is missing, every business blueprint framework document there is in $30,000 a year mentorships that I'm in, none of them have this critical point here. And it's this column where it's basically insights to what each of these things are, why they matter, and most importantly, if you've got leading or lagging indicators, you've got good things happening, bad things happening, what they diagnose and what to do about them. So Sam's tips, huge. But today we're going to live in this little funnel right here called part 1, and that's revenue goals. I would love for people to go through all this with you guys, but this was a 5-hour masterclass called Killer KPIs. We're going to sit in part 1, and that is revenue goals. Why? We've got Q2. Q2 just started, right? When? Yesterday. Yeah, Q2 just started yesterday. The reality is you guys do have more than enough time to make $250,000 in the next 90 days. And hopefully with this business framework, you guys can make that happen. So right off the bat, upfront expectations, you guys need to understand this. There are different things you're going to track, right? There are going to be things that you track daily, things that you track weekly, monthly, quarterly, okay? And no matter what, guys, I know we say a 6-figure month, and Marlon, myself, and Alejandro, the three of us, before we even had the podcast Think Big, we all universally had our first ever 6-figure month the same month. And that was what was it? February of 22?
Yeah.
February of 2022.
Yeah.
Yep, February 2022, right?
That's
wow.
Crazy.
Wow.
Mine was on the 20th.
Crazy.
Hold on, I'm going to find this.
Yeah, February 2022, and we had no podcast together then. We weren't even like as close as we are now. And fast forward, here we are together on a podcast, which is amazing. So this is critical. Even though we talked about doing 6 figures in 1 month, when we actually formulate a business, guys, we don't set revenue goals in any business monthly. There's very few business models on earth where you actually set revenue goals monthly. Why? Too much shit happens in the business for you to understand how to make money monthly. Making money monthly is a goal, sure, right? But it's a byproduct of hitting other processes, other systems, other frameworks. What we actually do is we want to set revenue goals on a quarterly basis, especially in real estate. Why? Deals take time to close. You have title commitments that may take you 10, 15, 20 days to get, depending on if you have a shitty title company. You have liens that delay closings. You have all of these things that happen, and you have these 45, 60 elongated, delayed escrow proceedings. So our industry truly is one where you don't set monthly goals. You set quarterly goals. And then if you crush the quarterly goals, guess what? Then you get a 6-figure month. Then you get a 250K month, right? That's the goal. Now, in whatever industry you're approaching this with, I want you guys to understand this. Every industry has it. In this little cell right here, number 2, you guys are seeing this term right here, cash conversion cycle, okay? Cash conversion cycle is literally the holy grail of marketing. It is one of the holy grails of marketing, your CCC. Simply put, what is a cash conversion cycle? From the moment I put $1 into a marketing machine, whether it's cold call, direct mail, texting, Instagram outreach, posting posts on Facebook because I'm looking for coaching clients, commercial TV ads for our car dealership, whatever the hell it is that you're selling, okay? From the moment you put $1 in, how much time has to go by for you to get that $1 back with a predictable return? Knowing that is your cash conversion cycle. And now the cool thing is this. Your cash conversion cycle, guys, is going to depend. Every marketing channel has a different one. I am a professional at real estate, so I understand the cash conversion cycles in real estate. In some other industries, it is up to you. If you are coming to me from, hey, Sam, I sell life insurance. Hey, Sam, I do OnlyFans. Hey, Sam, I sell cars. Whatever the fuck it is up to you to understand the cash conversion cycles of marketing in your specific industry and then apply it retroactively. So,
wait, Sam, when exactly did you make that 6-figure? The 20 what?
February 2022.
No, the day.
The date?
No, the day. I think you said the 23rd. Was the 23rd?
I no, it was just that month. I don't.
Oh, okay,
the whole
okay.
month.
I
Yeah.
swore you said the 23rd. Mine was on the 24th. I thought that was pretty crazy.
I don't remember what days that all the deals closed on, but yeah, February of 2022. That was our first ever 6-figure February. We called it Six Figgy Febby at the time. That was fun. And for me, we made $121,250 in 1 month. That was an amazing month. It was actually a huge trajectory shift for me, because if we didn't have that call with Agnes, if Marlon didn't put out the challenge the way that he did, I would venture to say that my life wouldn't have gone the way that it has recently. That was a huge pivotal moment. But okay, back to this, guys. I want to go hard on value, guys. This specifically, these revenue goals, right? Quarter for the quarter, 100K in 30 days, all the things, $1 million in a year, right? The reality is you want to do this every single quarter of your business. You need a quarter. You need 90 days to actually get data in the business. Usually, if you try to operate on a 30-day time span, you don't have enough data. It's not enough time. Things aren't working properly. We usually set goals quarterly, biannual, which is like every 6 months, or annually, and then we revisit our structure, we revisit our goals, we revisit everything on a quarterly basis and adjust. Let's get into it. So, because it's quarter for the quarter, I'm going to take this and I'm going to say that, hey, this quarter, right, of this year, I want to make $250,000, right? I wonder if this will actually change. Oh, yeah, it does. Beautiful. Don't you guys love automations that are already plugged in to make your life easy? So I'm going to put in $250,000, okay, in revenue goals. And what I'm going to do is let's actually go and increase this. Give me one sec. Oopsie. I did not mean to do that. I'm trying to zoom in. Okay. Is that better?
Way better. There we go.
Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to zoom in so we can take things one at a time. So, realized revenue goal. Okay, we're going to put this in, and I'm going to say, hey, over the next 90 days in Q2 of 2024, I want to make $250,000, $250,000. Cool. At the end of the day, right, it's going to be really important to understand your successful close ratio, your success rate, your close rate. This doesn't mean how many deals you lock up. What does this specifically mean? Guys, you guys have a guess?
Successful close ratio is how many deals actually go to the finish line, get to the finish line.
Beautiful. I want you guys to put it this way. This is going to be in Sam's insights on the side. The reality of what this means is simple. It's out of all the deals that we lock up, out of all the customers that we quote unquote close, how many of them actually end up paying us? How many times do we actually make money? If you're a wholesaler, this is a deal going into escrow, finding a buyer, selling the deal, and getting paid, right? If you have a car sales business, this is cool. You got the person in to come in and give you a verbal on the new Mercedes AMG, but did he actually sign off and drive off the lot with the car, right? That is a close. So what we're looking at is your close rate. It's a percentage. Okay. Now, if you are in real estate acquisitions, you're in wholesale, you're trying to find deals and find a buyer to sell them to and make an assignment fee. Great. Very often we see people at this like 50% close rate or success rate, 40% success rate. Horrible numbers. You typically want to stand around 75 to 80%. Why no more? Because there was a time in my life, in my business, where I was super proud of the fact that my close rate was like 92.5%. Guys, Alejandro, what's wrong if I have a 92.5% success rate in my business? What does that mean?
Ooh, this is actually homework from last YouTube, the episode, which you should watch it. But that means you're not taking enough risk. You're not taking
Beautiful. I was waiting to find the perfect deal at the perfect number that I know I could sell no matter what, that I already had a buyer lined up for. I was doing what we call reverse wholesaling at a reasonably amateur level. Okay. And so I had a high success rate, which means I locked up the contract. Outside of like a 1 out of 10 circumstance, basically we were always closing the deal. What ended up happening meant that what that means is I wasn't shooting enough shots. When you don't shoot enough shots, you're leaving money on the table. So is it worth it for me to shoot out a few extra contracts, lock up a few more deals, take some chances? Absolutely. The game as a business owner is finding that sweet balance between, overdoing it, shooting too many shots, and not shooting enough. If you're a wholesaler, I want you guys to be at that 75 to 80% rate. That's the sweet spot. And the last thing is this, guys, as business owners, I want you guys to think about this. Why do you want a 75 to 80%? Why do you want a higher success rate? The last thing you want is to have employees who work for you who come on, work their asses off, talking to sellers, locking up the deal. And because you didn't invest in dispositions and you didn't invest in your dispo, that the deals don't get closed, right? That's a great way to kill the morale of your sales team, is by making sure that all the work they do doesn't pan out and they don't get paid. But right now we're going to pretend we've got a 75% success rate. Sweet. And this, guys, this does have a massive, massive, massive effect on how things go. Okay.
Absolutely. Also, real quick, Marlena just asked a question. For everyone that's asking questions in the side chat, we are absolutely going to do Q&A tonight. So please drop your questions in there. Please do not think we're ignoring them. Make sure that you have time to hang out tonight. We're going to come back. We're going to answer all the questions because that is such a phenomenal question that you asked. So we will come back to it tonight.
Sweet. Love that. Yeah, guys, keep put your questions in the comments 1,000%, and don't try to remember them later because you will forget them, because I'm going to go highly technical today. So guys, I want to make $250,000. Okay. And I know that if I lock 100 contracts up, right, I get 100 deals under contract, only 75 of them are going to close because I've got a 75% success rate. Guess what? Do I need to lock up 100 contracts to make $250,000? No, got to lock up more, right? Because we're going to have some fallout. So, and guys, this is the cool thing about Killer KPIs is the system actually does this for you. I've made sure it does. So when you want to make $250,000 and at 75% success rate, how much do you need to lock up? You actually need to lock up 333, 33, blah, 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 all the threes. This is how much revenue you actually need to contract in order to finish at 250, because you're going to have a 75% success rate. Now, this is what matters, guys. Whatever industry you're in, you need to know your product, your service, your basis. If you have an STR management company or a cleaning company, you should know what your average profit per clean is, what your revenue is, what your profit is, right? How long it's going to take, how many clients or leads you need to generate to get a contract, all the same stuff. It's all completely synergistic across any form of sales and marketing. It really, really, really is. So I know, right? Let's just say in the market that I'm in, my average deal size, I'm going to pretend I'm a wholesaler alone and all I do is assign deals. What am I doing? I'm getting an average deal size of $12,000. That's my average profit right here, right? Or average gross profit. And that's going to be 12K. Cool. This is why I need to lock up 333. What you actually do is you take this number right here. It's actually going to be cool. You guys are going to see this right now. You're going to take the need to lock up. You're going to divide it by 12K. And I don't want you guys to remember all these things. It's in the calculator. This is going to show you how many deals you need to contract. So in a quarter, in a 3-month time span, I have to lock up 27 deals. And guys, I don't know about you guys, but to me, like to say, oh, I want to make $250,000 in 90 days. That sounds like a lot of work. That sounds like that's kind of almost a daunting number. And then you say, oh, in order to get $250,000, you got to make 333K. That even sounds scarier. But what happens is we start chipping away at these things and understanding the numbers behind the business. We end up making things sound a lot easier, right? And I'm going to edit this because right now the average assignment fee is actually coming up again. So it's actually not going to be 12,000. Probably going to be about 15,000 right now. See? And that knocked off 5 deals. Look how that $3K difference per deal knocked off 5 deals. So now you don't need 27 deals. You need 22 deals in 3 months. It's actually not that much, guys. It's really not that much. So
Sam, by the
ahead.
way, I love this right here. And I want to emphasize this fact because we call it reducing things to the ridiculous, which means breaking it down. And what happens way too often is most people get paralyzed thinking about the entirety of what needs to be accomplished and what needs to be built. So what you're showing them right here, being able to break it down and recognize 22 deals is how I get to $250,000 versus just needing to make $250,000. That's too large of a goal. And currently we're doing a run across America. Do you know the conversation Andrew and I had before this whole thing got started? We knew it was over 3,100 miles that needed to be ran. That's more miles than most people will run in their entire lifetime. The conversation we had was we only need to run 3 miles at a time.
Oh, he's doing the thing.
Yo, you're muted, bro.
I'm not muted. You're muted.
Oh, oh, amazing.
There we go. I might have frozen, but we only need to run 3 miles at a time. So all of your goals, regardless of how big they are, can be broken down and sized up into manageable chunks that you can actually accomplish, that you can wrap your mind around. So Sam, thank you. I need people who think that this is too big, realize it can be broken down into smaller steps. Let's keep going.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that's what was happening with Agnes, right? Was that idea, 100K in 30 days, it sounded too big, too fast, too soon, right? And when we really start looking at this, when we set these gigantic goals, guys, when I say I want to make $1 million a year, I don't judge that by making $1 million in my bank account. You know what I judge that by? I judge that by 83.33 per month. That's my barometer. How many leads do I need to generate? How many XYZ do I need to sell to make 83.33.33 per month? I hit that and I know I'm running a 7-figure a year business, right? It's all about this. And what I really want to hit on this, guys, is this average deal size. This is one of the biggest variables that can actually change how much you need to do, how many deals you need to get. The reality is this. What if, let's just say you're assigning most of them, but you throw one flip into the mix where you make 60K. One flip, that's it. You just get one of the super deep deals. You just keep it yourself. You make a 60K profit. And then when you factor all of your $15,000 assignment fees plus 160K, profit on a flip, what ends up happening is your average deal size goes tremendously high, right? So let's just say you're in the market of like Las Vegas, which is my favorite market in the country right now. Let's just say your average deal size collectively is 22,500, right? Which is what I'm expecting in the Vegas market. Look what ends up happening. Huge. Just by throwing one extra wholetail, subtail, novation, fix and flip, where I just get a bigger fee. One additional big fee can offset your average so much that guys, I think it went from, what was it before? Look at this, 22 deals. Now only need 14. That's insane, right? It's absolutely insane. This is why it's important for you guys to understand these things. So I'm going to run with this because I like the number 22,500. I like rather doing 14 deals. Marlon, 14 deals in 3 months. That's not super scary, is it?
That's very doable. And I love this because what you just did, where you changed the average deal size, was one of the biggest major deciding factors in how I changed my business and how I changed what it was I focused on, realizing that focusing on higher ticket opportunities would be the biggest key determining factor in what I need to build.
Huge, guys. And your market plays a role in this. If you guys are wholesaling in California, the average wholesale fee in California is like 50K plus, right? Like one of our good friends, Marlon, like we love Jonah Corchin, right? Jonah Corchin's such a good friend. He almost exclusively wholesales in California. The dude consistently is getting 6-figure assignment fees. So I'm going to go back to 22.5 because that's the most applicable number right now. But I'm going to just, to show the power of this, and then I promise we'll move on. Let's pretend this was a $50,000 assignment fee because you're playing ball in Southern California, Northern California, New York, some of these higher value markets, Colorado, guys, Denver, Aspen, all these places are producing a lot higher assignment fees. Let's just say it was 50K. Watch what happens to the number of deals you have to lock up. 6.6. 7 deals in 3 months is all you got to do. Okay. So I'm going to go back here to bring us back to most okay, decent, appreciating markets, 22.5. This is all you got to do. 14.8 deals. Easy, simple enough. The next thing that matters is this. Remember how I said your conversions. How many offers does it take to get a contract, right? If I'm on the phone with a seller, if I'm on the phone with an agent, if I'm on the phone with a prospect or a lead and I'm doing car sales, electricity, roofing, whatever the hell it is, how many offers do I need to make to get a contract? And in the world of real estate wholesale, it should be about 2.5 to 3. Okay. Why? Or 2.5 to 4, I should say. Any less than that, you're overqualifying your leads. Any more than that, if you're like, it takes you 10 offers to get a contract, then usually what's happening is you're not filtering your leads enough. So this is assuming you guys are filtering your leads to a quality basis. Okay. So pretend 3 offers to get a contract signed. or close, I should say. Okay, cool. How many leads per contract? This is simple. Marlon, what marketing channel are we going to be using here?
This is probably going to be PPC.
Sweet, epic, perfect. Guys, PPC. Why do these guys know that? You guys understand that? These guys know their shit. We also did a giant study called Lead Gen Mastery, which we probably should redo soon just because marketing changes so often. But in the world of PPC, you can get a 1 in 10. For every 10 leads you get, you're going to get 1 deal closed, 1 deal signed. So if I know that I only need to do 3 offers per contract and it only takes me 10 leads to get a deal, guess what? We get to move on to the rest of it, which is amazing. I'm going to zoom out a little bit here. And we're going to go into part 2. How are we on time? I think we're good. Okay. This is how you set your revenue goals. Yeah, awesome. This is how you set your revenue goals, guys. Simply put, I want to make $250,000 in the next 3 days. I know that I have a 75% success rate. I know that I need to lock up 333, whatever. My average deal size is this. This is how many deals I need to get. This is how many offers it takes for me to get a contract, how many leads it takes. You have this initial framework data, you are absolutely going to be able to dominate the rest of the quarter. And we're going to move on to that.
Sam, now could I emphasize one thing real quick?
Yes. Yes.
For anybody that's watching and is brand new and he's like taking ferocious notes right now, please understand all of the numbers you see in yellow are adjustable and those are not law. So do not say, hey, I have 10 leads. Why is this not working? Because your lead quality may be different. Don't say, hey, I closed the deal, but it only made me 10,000. I just need to emphasize that fact that every number you see in yellow is adjustable. And that's why it's so important that you're really actively listening very clearly to every word Sam is saying. All right.
Sam, and guys, no, very, very true. And guys, the reality is this, what might end up happening is this, you may be new and you may not understand this data. You may not have this. What do? You take your best guess. You're going to go lean on leaders in your market or your industry. Right? If you're in Tampa, Florida, what I want you to do is go to a meetup and find people who are crushing the business and ask them, hey, what numbers are you guys seeing? The cool stuff is a lot of this data you actually can find online about what is an expectation based on XYZ market. And then you can get some preliminary data. And then as your business goes on, you're just going to adjust and adjust and adjust. And eventually you're going to get super dialed in. But this first section is just what information do we have to work with? Now that we have our intake done, right? We filled out our questionnaire. We know what we got to work with. Now we get to move into the next stage, which is basically, hey, how many offers do we need to hit? How many shots do we need to shoot to hit our goals? Now, this is critical, guys. When you guys are hiring team members don't need to be held to closing deals. Why? Shit happens. Just the way it is. Deals fall through, right? Liens happen. Decision makers that you missed, right? Other heirs and siblings that didn't sign off. All these things can happen. You do not hold your team, in my opinion, to closing deals. You hold them to making offers because that's the most controllable thing to them. I don't even hold them to getting deals signed. I would love to, but I don't. Why? Because that's up to another human being. I care about controlling the controllables, and them making the offer is one of them. Boom. Oh, there we go. That's huge. Okay, this is huge. A lot of people, they come to me and they say, Sam, I don't know how many people we need to hire. What hours do they need to work? What's their schedule going to be? This is how you actually figure all that stuff out, is this second section here. So, and guys, remember how Marlon said, just, taking things from a high level overview and then just narrowing it down. I'm going to show you, in effect, it's going to seem redundant and it's going to seem boring, but it's so critical because it'll help you make so much more money. It's actually amazing. We're going to do that right over here. So we know that in a quarter, I want to make 250K. Cool. Projected revenue. I need to do 333,000. Number of contracts. This needs to change. This was what, 22.22? Let me go up and make sure we have the right number. Oh, it's 14.81. My bad. Okay, 14.81 contracts. Guess what? I have 3 offers to a deal. What do? Guys, we take the number of contracts, 14.81, and we just times it by 3 because that's how many offers it takes for us to get a deal. So we need to make 44 offers. Guys, in 3 months to make 250K, all I have to say is, guys, I just have to make 44 offers. That sounds obscenely easy. It's actually so much more simple. Cool. All I have to do is send out 44 offers in a 3-month time span. Number of leads needed. If I need 10 leads to get a deal, what do? Take our deal number, our number of contracts, and what do? We times it by 10. All I need to do is generate 148 leads in that quarter. It's starting to become a lot more attainable and reachable. And I want you guys to start seeing this because you apply this to any business you have. Trust me, it becomes so much easier. But because Marlon and I are both advocates of just simplifying, we're going to take it down one step further. Now, this quarterly thing, Marlon, to go from quarterly to monthly, what do we have to do to all these numbers?
Divide them by 3.
That's it. Super easy. So to make $250,000 in 3 months, I just got to do 83.33. By the way, guys, 83.33 times 12, it's $1 million a year business. Quarter for the quarter isn't showing you how to make $250K in 3 months. It's showing you how to make $1 million in a year, if you guys didn't realize that yet. So on a monthly basis, I just gotta get 83.3, which means I have to lock up $111,000. I don't have to close on 111. I just have to contract a projected profit of $111,000 or a projected revenue. So number of contracts, 4, almost 5 contracts in a month. Remember, 3 offers to get a deal. It's only 15 now on a monthly basis, right? And that means in a month, all you have to do, as long as you have the PPC flow going, is make 15 offers. That's it. That means 1 offer every 2 days. Every other day, all you have to do is pick up the phone, talk to a lead that's vetted, and say, hey, here's an offer on your property. That's it. Number of leads in a month, 49. It's starting to become a lot more attainable. To make things even simpler and easier to drive this shit home, to show you guys how to make $1 million a year, I'm going to go deeply to even the week. So Marlon, to go from monthly to weekly, what do we got to do?
To go from monthly to weekly, we just got to break it down into 4 weeks divided by 4.
Beautiful. Exactly. So in order to do $250,000 in 3 months, we have to do 83.3 in a month, which means in a week, all we got to do is 20K. 20K. That means we don't have to close 20K. We don't have to, 27K in projected rev. We don't have to close 27K. We just got to lock it up. We just got to get it contracted. Guys, in most markets, that's like a deal and a half, right? And I'm going to show you that right now.
And Sam, real quick, because the CEO just asked this question, and I can tell this is one of those questions that if it doesn't get answered, no matter how far ahead we go, their mind is going to stay back here with this question on.
Beautiful.
So the question is, I'm going to put it up on the screen so everyone can see, is the projected revenue higher than realized to cover cost of overhead, marketing, and payroll to the team? So when they see the projected revenue of $27,700 and the realized revenue is only $20,000, a $7,000 difference, what's the reason and rationale? We went over that a little bit earlier, but I just want us to explain it again. That way he can follow us, or she, I don't know who the CEO is, can follow us along in this conversation.
Yep, 100%. So the reason why the projected rev is higher, I'm actually going to scroll all the way up, and this is one of the most important things, is right here, successful close ratio. Because here's the thing, Mr. or Mrs. the CEO, what's going to end up happening is this. If I want to make $250,000 in a year, right, does every contract I close that I get, every contract that I get signed, do they always close? No. Industry standard is actually that 1 out of 4 contracts will fall through at in escrow at title because liens pop up, because we were dealing with the probate and we didn't get all the siblings and the heirs. So the reality is you may lock up 10 contracts, but not all 10 are going to actually close and you're actually going to get paid on, right? Shit falls through, shit happens. So what ends up happening is in order to do $250,000 in 3 months, we have to then go actually contract a higher amount because we need to offset the fact that stuff's going to fall through, right? Bad deals are going to show up. We're going to end up having liens that are undiscoverable. Guys, for my first deal ever that I contracted, I did not close because the numbers were great. I was ready to make a $20,000 assignment fee on it. I was super stoked on it. And what ended up happening is during title, we found that the seller did not pay his child support in like 10 years and owed like $72,000, and there was no way to work around it. And that just crushed the deal. So I can't rely on that. So when we are setting these revenue projections, Mr. Mrs. the CEO, we always have to overshoot because we know we're going to lose some. So I hope that makes sense.
And I want Mr. CEO, Sam, that was a perfect explanation. I want people to pay attention because when you're on social media, sometimes you're going to see people highlight the fact that they locked up a contract. You're going to see when Sam, myself, Alejandro, when we hear that people lock up contracts, it does nothing for my excitement level. I don't get excited unless it's your first contract, in which case I'm excited that you've made progress. I'm very excited that you did the thing, you took action, and now you are seeing a tangible result of a signed contract. However, from a revenue standpoint, it doesn't mean anything. What we refer to as locked up contracts is very simply this. It's pipeline profit. It doesn't exist yet. It's not realized. It's potential profit. Until you have the HUD and until that check hits your bank account, it's not real yet. And if you can always remember this, you're not going to freak out when a deal blows up in escrow, because it will happen. It's not a matter of if it will happen. It's when will it occur. So plan for it, prepare for it. 1 out of every 4 deals is going to blow up. And that's if you're doing things right.
Yeah, and that's if you have good buyers and you know what you're doing in dispositions and you're doing the rest of it right. In the beginning, guys, you're not. The beginning is you're gonna suck. You may have a 40% success rate, a 50% success rate. The goal is we want to stabilize as time goes on at that 75 to 80. Alejandro, you had something to say?
Yeah, I was gonna say if you're doing this by yourself, I would suggest to outsource your disposition. All the deals you have, outsource it, forget about it. Outsource it, forget about it, and continue doing what you do best, which is, if at that point is bringing in leads and closing deals, continue doing that. Because once you start focusing on, oh, okay, let me go dispo this deal, that's going to be your one and only concern throughout the whole time. And now you're decreasing the chances of you continue closing more deals, which slows you down. And by the time you're so focused on that deal that you want to dispo, by the time you get that wired in, you're going to be back to square one. Because again, once you lock up a deal, it takes 30, 45 days for it to close. So you don't want to spend that 10 days or 15 days for you to try and disposition that deal. Outsource it, man. It does not, trust me, you'll make more money that way than instead of you trying to focus on your own. Unless you have a really great freaking system behind you and you're by yourself.
Yep, 100%, guys. But let's get on it. So the reality is just to dumb this down to make this so achievable, because guys, this is literally what it looks like to make $1 million in this industry with this specific marketing campaign. Okay. Right now, guys, remember to do the $250,000, right? We need to have how many contracts? Was it 14? It's like 14, right? Guess what? 14.81 in 3 months, which equals 4.9 in 1 month on a weekly basis. All you have to do is generate 1.23 contracts. That's it. 1.23 seller signing, right? That's it. Just signing on the dotted line on DocuSign. Okay. The number of offers, because we have that 3-to-1 ratio. We know that if we're going to make 3 offers, we're going to get a deal. Guys, in a week, all you have to do is show up, talk to a vetted lead, and make 3 offers in a week. 3 viable offers in a week. And then you are actually, as long as everything else goes fine, pacing to do 83.3 in a month, 250K in 90 days, and $1 million in a year. And then if your vector, your marketing channel is going to be PPC, right, which is what we're going off here, then guess what? In a week, all you got to do is generate 12 leads. That's it. It's not rocket science. It's not extremely hard. The beautiful thing about PPC and paid ads is you can very forcefully grow that number. Guys, but I want to, because we are running up on time here, as a hyper selfish plug, because I want you guys to also, I think we may have some homework for you guys at the end of this if you guys want this. But do you guys, let me know in the chat, was it helpful to see all of this mapped out, like in a very, very, very simple kind of way? I hope it was.
Extremely helpful. I know for me, I can speak on my behalf, and I want to see it in the chat if this was helpful, because if we know these sort of videos are helpful, if we know, we at the end of the day want to create content that's valuable to you all. Our goal here is to give back. We spent lots of money. You're looking at 3 guys who have invested over 6 figures in our own personal development, in our own professional development. And our goal is to take that information and to have a medium, to have a platform where we can give it all away for free. right? Like we are people that we apply this in our own businesses, we apply this in our own lives, and we don't have time to talk to every single person that comes to us. So this is our way of being able to give away the value for free. But if you don't think it's valuable, we will switch to something else. We're not going to stop because that's not who we are. However, we want to make sure that what we are giving is actually tangible and valuable to you. So drop it in the chat, drop it in the comments. Let me know.
Yeah, I think this is huge, guys. I'm just like selfishly showing this to you guys because this is the essence of killer KPIs. And the cool thing is this: it's already amazing. I'm actually this week going to sit down and make sure it's reflective of today's market and make it even better. But guys, wouldn't it be amazingly helpful if you guys actually had a tracking system that actually fucking made sense and it was easy to understand? So the beautiful thing about killer KPIs and how I've built it is simple. Every channel, I'm showing you every channel what matters. If you're cold calling, this is the only shit that matters right here. This is it. Nothing else matters. You don't need to overdo it. You don't need to be gratuitous about it. Here's how you track them. Here's what you need to track. Here's averages that you should be aware of. And here's all the insights that show you even how to make the calculations yourself, why they matter, all the little tips and tricks. Here's the cool thing, guys. I'm just going to go ham on this for one little minute because I want you guys to see this because I think this can be a game changer for y'all. Because again, someone took this in the roofing business. They didn't do $250,000 in a quarter. They did $500,000. They did $500K in 3 months with this, which is amazing. The cool thing is this: acquisitions team. This will actually show you how, like, what parameters and roles you need to hold your team to and why they matter without any additional fluff, without anything else. All these gratuitous KPI tracking trends that we see in the industry. And then the cool thing is this, guys: what happens at the end of the quarter? What happens at the end of the month? How are you assessing if a marketing campaign went properly, right? You go here. I actually have a section about deals. How do you know how many deals did we close escrow, right? What our projected profit was, our realized profit, the time duration, how many fell through, successful close rate, projected profit, process and offer goal. All of these things are actually baked in here. And we got some super secret stuff that I'm not going to actually show you too much, but it's on that bonus. And it's basically how to go from being a CEO to a business owner or a shareholder. And that one's amazing. But I'm going to stop sharing right now because I want to get back to some Q&A real quick. Do you guys see the screen or no?
Yes, sir. Let me pull it back here. I want to pull up some of these questions because they're phenomenal questions inside here. So,
and then, yeah, guys, I know a lot of you guys are going to be asking, how do you get the killer KPI spreadsheet? We'll let you know at the end here.
Yep. But first, let's bring it through some Q&A because Marlena, she's been hanging out with us the entire time. And first question she asked was, what was the big change you made that got you to 6 figures? And that's a great question. I'm going to go ahead and answer this one first because I think we're all going to possibly have different answers. I don't know. My answer is very straightforward. And for me, it was a mindset thing. It was truly believing that it was possible for me. I knew it was possible. It was convincing myself that it was possible for me and increasing my financial thermostat. So this is something that I learned hanging out with Cody Barton. He talked to me about this all the time, that coming from the lives we came from, we had very similar upbringings, that if we wanted to make more money, it was important that we start to flip our financial thermostat and raise our standard for how much we believe we can earn, what we think it's right to earn. All of those things need to be in alignment. If you don't think it's good to earn money, if you think people with money are evil, if you think something about earning money means you're robbing somebody else of money, then you are going to have a very difficult time. It will be damn near impossible for you to earn money. And if you accidentally do earn a lot of money, I guarantee you it will be out of your hands before you know it, and you won't know where the money went. What about you, Sam? What was the big change that got you to 6 figures?
Yeah, so I wanna reiterate that, like, there truly is this interesting mindset thing that happened that month, that February. Guys, we weren't. I don't think Marlon and I really were entering that month. We were ready to do 6 figures. Like, I don't think that was a thing that was even in our thought process. I think what ended up happening is there was a very powerful mindset thing that happened in Marlon. I'm kind of sad that you didn't hit on this. We made a public proclamation. And that is extremely valuable. It's something that we do here live. We've done it very often. And a public proclamation is simple. It's when you tell the open public, the open world, people around you that I, Sam Singh, am going to go make $100,000 in the next 30 days. I'm going to not just contract, I'm going to close that shit. Okay. When you do these things, what ends up happening is you're putting it out into the universe, you're putting it out into the world, but you're also letting other people hold you accountable. And as I've gotten older and as I've grown as a business owner, I've realized, one, to be really careful with public proclamations because people don't forget. The internet does not forget. And then that's a huge thing, huge thing. So one, public proclamations, right? Just a mindset thing of accepting that it is possible. And then two, I think the next biggest thing for me to get to a six-figure month consistently is understanding that there is actually no ethereal magic to any of this. I think very often in this game, we think that there is some unique ethereal, you can't touch it, but it's there. For some reason, Marlon's making money. I don't know why. I'm doing all the work, but Marlon has it figured out. There's something, and don't get me wrong, Marlon Johnson is a magical human being. It's not just mindset Marlon, it's magical Johnson. The reality is there isn't as much magic as you might think there is in so many of these things. When it comes down to hitting a revenue goal, hitting a monetary goal, it is simply inputs and outputs. Turn your brain off to anything else. We look at people on social media, and then what we end up doing is we end up thinking like there's something special about them, or and very often we end up finding out, to Marlon's point, they're usually kind of bullshitting. They're usually kind of fluffing some things, and that disconnect where you can't make it, you can't common sense it because you're seeing gaps and blanks in the reasoning. That's when usually they're fluffing it. Why do I want to show killer KPIs? Why do I want to show you guys mathematically how to do this? To show you there is no magic. To show you if you do the things, if you just shut up and put in the work that you need to put in into the system, mathematically the system will reward you with whatever it is that you want on the outside. Right? I know I'm trying to buy more deals this year, Marlon. You know this. I have been half-assing buying deals this year. Why? Because I've got other businesses that really take my priority right now. But I know if I stopped everything else and only focused on networking with wholesalers and realtors and making cash offers to buy deals, I'd buy as many fucking deals as I want to, because it's a game of inputs and outputs. So number one, public proclamations and mindset. Number two, shut up, do the work, understand that it's inputs and outputs, and that's it. So
Dude,
that's me.
I freaking love that. Thanks for reminding me about the public proclamation, because that public proclamation is the reason I'm sitting in an RV in Kansas running across America with some of my friends versus being at home doing some other things. And recognize what Sam just said. It is a game of inputs, and recognize when you sacrifice one set of inputs for another set of inputs, you will not get the outputs you're looking for. So when that's clear, when you decide that a six-figure month is your desire, and you go ahead and you get in alignment with the inputs that produce that, then you will start to see things will start to happen when you fall in love with the work, essentially. Alejandro, what about you, man? What was the big change that got you to that first six figures?
What happened after I got the six figure, or what got
No,
me?
what was the big change that got you there, that made you make six figures?
I mean, it's the easiest way I can say it, man. It was, for me, my current belief at that time was manifestation. I would sit every morning in front of my computer looking at things that I can't afford at all, not even think about how I can afford it. I would just look at it and then start to write down how I can make this happen. Just watching videos, watching pictures, big houses in Italy. Sam, you know what's going on in Italy. Jets, yachts. Like, I would literally, I have my notes and I can show you guys. I would look at
Lake Como, baby. Lake Como all day.
All day, man. I would show you guys my notes. I was looking at $200 million yachts, and I was trying to break it down. How much would that be in monthly payments? How much do I have to make to afford those monthly payments? And I continue manifesting every morning, visualizing what my life is going to look like. And I had this one session here where I was doing it, and I forgot to take my Apple Watch off, and it disturbed me mid visualization. And I didn't get upset. I got a smile, which is weird. I got a smile, and the first thing that came in my mind was, this is a notification from my Chase account that I just got $100,000 deposited into my account. No bullshit. I cannot make this shit up. And literally a couple of days later, we found the buyer for our deal, and it was $150,000. And it took 2 months to close. That was the longest 2 months I've ever freaking lived in, because it felt like forever. And that's really what got me there, man. Just watching, visualizing, and listening to people. This is what I do as well. I watch like shows that talk about billion dollars. I watch Billions. I watch Suits. People that talk about big money. I wanted to make it normal to my mind so I can believe that it's possible. Because if you surround yourself with people that are on salary, $60,000, $100,000, it doesn't make them a bad person, but that's what you're going to believe. That's what's going to be wired within yourself. And you're going to be like, okay, yeah, if I make $60,000 or $100,000, that's cool. No, fuck that. I'm serious. You need to go ahead and listen to with people that are making $100 million a year, $200 million a year. How do they do it? Integrate that into your mind and increase your belief system. And for the people that says money doesn't bring you happiness, instantly when that wire hit my account, I knew that was bullshit because I was freaking happy. And the first thing I did was send some money to my family. I donated money to Dominican Republic, help people that needed school supplies, and that was the most beautiful feeling I ever had in my life.
So huge, guys. I want to get some more questions, absolutely, but I want to just double down on what Alejandro said. Change your default settings due to the sheerest, whether you believe in the universe or God, right? Whatever it is, due to either destiny or the sheerest of accidents in the universe, you were born and raised in an area where you were taught what a default is. Change your default settings. You are allowed to. That's huge. Let's get to the next one.
All right. So Carlos asks, I have 2 cold callers currently. How many leads should I expect from them daily? They're experienced and trained. And go ahead and answer this one, Sam, because the answer is going to be, it depends, right? It depends on some variables, but Sam, do you want to give him some guidance?
Yeah. So there's going to be an industry standard. That industry standard is going to be based on the shitty things that the industry does and the shitty suboptimal way the industry operates. So the industry standard is going to be 2 to 3 leads a day that are usually vetted, right? Depending on how qualified your filtering process is, and depending on how are they getting all 4 pillars, how many of the 4 pillars, right? X, Y, Z, all the stupid crap. The reality is that can be 2 to 3. That's going to be the standard. It may be 1 to 3 for filtering heavy. Here's what, in my opinion, it's not really that plays the biggest role. There's ways to optimize this. It really isn't about the number of leads, in my opinion. It's really about the quality of leads that matters the most. And how do we do that? How do we optimize? This is called marketing optimization or ROI optimization, or if you want to be fancy, ROAS, return on ad spend optimization. And we do that by giving them better dialer systems, better phone numbers, less spam so they're connecting more, giving them better data with better skip tracing, chasing after data sets that not a million other wholesalers have access to, right? It's where we go into niches. This is why for cold call, I only operate in niche data. So I don't worry about the 2 to 3 shitty leads a day. I'm okay with getting the one, but that one is going to be a phenomenal freaking lead. But that's going to be your expectation, is that 2 to 3 standard. And then you can go into optimization to really, I don't even care about the number of leads. I care about the quality of the leads that are coming in. That's what I want you to optimize.
Love it. Karen asks, do you recommend working on your numbers before making the offers? Karen,
got you. I think Karen here means underwriting the deal, making sure it's like a viable offer, right? Like doing some preliminary underwriting and comping. In this scenario, I would say yes, right? Especially if it's like, we're talking about PPC on the killer KPI spreadsheet. Then, yeah, you want to make sure it's a damn good offer that you can stand by, because the last thing you want to do is have a hot seller who called in, who filled out a Google ad, and then you're basically like, oh, yeah, by the way, that offer I gave you was completely full of shit because I didn't actually underwrite your deal, right? So it's going to depend on that. The reality is, Marlon and guys, the answer is it depends. Marlon and I last year, we spoke at a phenomenal land investing mastermind. To this day, it's one of my favorite stages that I've ever spoken on. And they actually make blind offers almost completely. And they usually, what they do is they go, because they're offering on land, and land is simple, guys. You don't comp a property. It's freaking land. It's dirt. So what do? They take mass data sets on what all the land in that area is worth, average it out, times it by 0.5, and then put that as an offer on a check mailer and just blast it. That's their offer. So the reality is it's gonna depend on your specific campaign and what you're specifically targeting.
Love it. All right, let's keep it moving here. We got, what platform are you using to send out automated offers? So I personally don't send out automated offers. I don't know if Alejandro and Sam are doing that.
I only do it for direct to agents. It's not necessarily automated, but the system is automated. We manually pull the data we're looking for, then the automation does the rest. It's like letters of intent. That's
Yeah.
the only thing I do it for.
Yeah. So right now you guys can send out I wouldn't really talk about automated offers. I would maybe view it as LOIs. That's a good way to view it because LOIs are easy to template and easy to automate and send out. It just depends on the tool. Go High Level has these automations. Monday has these automations. Guys, we're getting to a point where all these CRMs, I'm sorry, all almost do the exact same damn thing. Very, very often there's a lot of crossovers with CRMs doing all the exact same things. So you can automate LOIs and offer emails to agents for free through stuff like Monday, through stuff like Go High Level. There's even some guys with some proprietary stuff that we're going to start testing out really, really, really soon here. I'm not going to mention it yet because we're going to test it out, but we are actually going to be using a product that specifically is built only to do one thing, and that is blast out hundreds and hundreds of offers on a conveyor belt to agents nationwide. I'll go test that, get the KPIs, plug it on to Killer KPIs, and I'll bring it out to you guys if it's worth talking about.
Freaking love it. All right. The CEO asked, are all three of you using InvestorLift to Dispo? I take it, or you're assuming that we all use it to Dispo, and congrats on the success. So I do not use InvestorLift to Dispo. I do look at deals on InvestorLift as a buyer, though.
Yeah. Yep. Alejandro, you're still on InvestorLift, yeah?
Yeah, I think you and I both have the same level. I think Cartel something. I don't know what it is.
Yep. So guys, funny enough, I actually have a meeting with. I'm not supposed to publicly say this, but Yes, we use InvestorLift, and we're about to step into some huge, amazing setups with InvestorLift. But InvestorLift's been huge for us in our disposition side. It allows us to go into new markets where we don't have tons of buyers yet. We don't have tons of VIPs. It allows us to go blindly in markets and get a bunch of deals. 1,000% we recommend InvestorLift, whether it's the base tier, Artemis mode, the lieutenant tier, or if you're a baller and you need the cartel status. There's only 50 of them. There's only 50 seats. Extremely rare. And you have to be absolutely crushing the game to do it. But 100% InvestorLift, stand by it all day. That's one of those things that I will die on that hill because InvestorLift crushes for us on dispositions. And if you guys want to, I'm just gonna put it out there, not to make things a plug, but if you guys want InvestorLift, it is a little bit of money. 100% reach out to one of us. We can get you 10% off. It's actually quite a bit of money. It's like $600-700 off or more.
Yep. Freaking love it. All right. I think that is it for questions tonight. I did see one more question, which is essentially people are asking how can they get a hold of the spreadsheet, right? Because that is there. I guarantee you, we got people who have been hanging out here for an hour and a half, and they're just since minute 5 have been saying, Sam, I want that spreadsheet. Is it possible? Yeah. And people still get access to that because
yeah. Absolutely, guys. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to spend time this week making sure it's even better. Guys, I made that spreadsheet, and here's how quickly marketing can change in our industry. And this is why it's important to only listen to people who are doing the thing now, not people who did the thing years ago. Because guess what? I made that spreadsheet, Killer KPIs, in December. Guys, 4 months have passed by, and the industry has changed. Marketing has changed. The KPIs in it, the insights in it have changed. I have to go in and update them so you guys have the best knowledge possible. And I stand by this, guys. I'm in mentorships that cost me $25,000, $30,000, $35,000, all these things. I have yet to see a tool that is actually better, gives you more raw insight, and is actually more implementable with success in your business than the Killer KPI spreadsheet. So 1,000%, I stand by that all day. When I made it, I actually made it with one goal in mind, and that's that no one's paid tracker could ever be better than this, and I want to give it away for free. So yes, it is for free, but Marlon, I feel like they should do some homework for it. What do you think they should do?
So the homework, I'm going to say, before anyone can even get access to the KPI tracker, is going to be very simple. It's going to be paying your dues. It's paying your admission for coming on to this podcast, coming on and listening and soaking up information. And that's to do this. It's to share this information out. Do not be a hoarder of information. Do not be selfish when you find things of value. If there's one thing that we can get across on this channel more than anything else, is that your life will be a direct reflection on how much more you give than you take. So I want you to pass this on to somebody else, that if you're thinking, man, this is so valuable for me, I feel like I found the holy grail on the internet. It's not all the other garbage that's out there. It's not all the other fluff. These guys are genuine. They really mean it. They really do it. Share this video with somebody else you know who's looking for people like you, who's looking for people like us. We want to grow this network, and we cannot do it on our own. Truly, like I cannot do it by myself. I can scream from the rooftops, but ultimately, we need your help. And so that's how you pay for today's value. That's how you pay for admission. Sharing this podcast out with somebody right now. Don't wait to do it tomorrow. Don't wait to do it next week. Open up your phone right now and share it. Share it on your YouTube. Share it on your Instagram. Text it to a friend. I text this podcast to my mom. I'm like, Mom, she's one of the viewers on here, I'm sure. She's probably asleep right now. Share this podcast with a friend. And then do me a favor. Comment done once you've done it right now. Drop that comment done in the chat right now so I know who's actually done the homework. The easiest way, Sam, I think the way we know, like guys like Mark, guys like John, people like Karen, is because when they share it, they also tag us on social media. Like, it's one of my favorite things is when I get one of those tags in my IG, when Alec tags us. It's one of my favorite things in the world.
Mac does it with notes too, like his biggest takeaways, which I really
Mac
appreciate.
is the king. Mac,
Bro,
I'm sorry guys, everyone else, he has set the bar for sharing love, because he'll take the screenshot and put down his biggest takeaways per episode. It's amazing. And that's actually, in my opinion, the way to really retain the information is to summarize the best points that stuck out the most to you. I think that's the best way to actually retain the information. So 100%, guys, take the screenshot, share it on Instagram, share it on Facebook. Make sure to tag us. Make sure to tag us specifically. Then I know that you did it. And what will happen is this: you're going to send me your email through, or just shoot me a DM once you've tagged me. And then I'll get you on a list, and we'll get you guys the Killer KPI spreadsheet this week. That's it. We don't want anything. We're not charging for anything like that. We're going to just give it to you guys for free because we want to hook you guys up. I think the only big expectation after that is simply put, that you guys I think we all three have one goal here collectively, guys, and that's to eliminate the excuses for you. Yeah. Like, that's my goal, guys. By the end of this year, I think we will have given up so much free damn information that there is no reason why any of our followers are not doing at least 50 grand a month in revenue. Minimum.
Think big.
Think big. Guys, that's it. Marlon, you want to send us out?
Yes, sir. Guys, we'll be back here next